everybody. My name is Juan Puentes. Some of you might recognize me, but those of you who don't, I am a proud member of Class 1 of Genesys Works Young Professional. And on behalf of all of us of Class 1, I want to first congratulate all of you in Class 2 for finishing your training and starting your new jobs. And trust me when I say this, your journey has just begun. Now let me tell you something a little bit about me. I graduated from Humboldt Senior High this past spring. My senior year was very interesting, only because I went to school for half a day. Now I did not ditch the other half. I actually went to work. I went to work for Ecolab. And I owe all that to Genesys Works. They gave me the chance to work for Ecolab, something I couldn't have done on my own while in high school. And if someone would have told me that I was going to work for a Fortune 500 company and left it at that, I would have wondered in their kitchen, never in their IT department. While I was working for Ecolab, I worked in their service desk. I would answer the phones, reply to emails, help out the security group, and do all sorts of jobs around the service desk. And those jobs ranged from me imaging computers, setting them up for new contractors, and making training manuals for them. This opportunity gave me a new outlook in life. It also gave me the most profitable experience, not on the money side, but on the experience of working for a Fortune 500 company. And that's not what anybody gets to do at my age. And that's also experience that companies like to see and like to see when they look to hire. Now let me tell you how all this came together and how Genesys personally changed my life. A few years back, when I was in the 9th and 10th grade, I was not the best behaved student around. I hung around the wrong kind of people, gang members. I was with them long enough that I became one. The things we did together are something not to be proud. I once knocked 2 guys out for their bike while my brother hit another one over the head with a hard liquor bottle. My actions once, over a period of 10 minutes, almost got me charged with assault, battery, disorderly conduct, and defiance. Outside of school, I would never walk alone or without a weapon. I would own and keep guns in my house. I had a 12-gauge shotgun under my bed. My house has been raided by police twice. Some of the things that I learned from them were awful. One in particular, they taught me how to break a window, car windows especially, without making any sound. And I used this to break into houses and cars and to take everything I can. We would also graffiti on walls of schools, houses, playgrounds, and recreation centers. I even once rode on the hood of a state patrol car. We would ruin normal, hard-working individuals' lives by stealing from them, practically destroying their cars, which probably was their very livelihood. And at that time, I felt no remorse for any of the things that I was doing. And I continued that behavior up to the 11th grade. Well, one day I was walking the halls of my high school. My counselor, Miss Garcia, came up to me and grabbed me. Now, she's always been telling me of other opportunities and presenting me with them. I never paid attention, and this time was no different. I remember she was telling me about Genesys work. It sounded stupid, and I stopped paying attention as soon as she said it's a summer program, which was the first few seconds of the conversation. At the end, she told me she was going to invite me to a presentation. I was like, whatever, I'll go. The day came when the presentation was being held. I went just to get out of French class. When I went, they gave me a little brochure about Genesys Works. I didn't even open it. I just sat there and I looked. Looked like I was paying attention, but I really wasn't. That day, I went home, and my mom happened to be in the kitchen, and she asked me what I did in school today. I still had the pamphlet in my hand, and I gave it to her, and I told her I did this. Now, usually my mom does not read anything I give her because it's in English. And she can read English, but usually she doesn't. But that time she did. She read that pamphlet front to back. She knew more about Genesys works than I did. And she liked it. She liked it a lot. She told me to sign up. Now, I told her I will, so she can stop nagging me about it. But I also knew that there's two parts to getting accepted at Genesys Works. There was an interview part. I just thought I wouldn't do so good in the interview. Well, the interview came and I went, planning not to give the best effort. Well, that's what I thought. Like a week later, I got a letter that I have been accepted at Genesys Works. Now, at that time, I thought it was a huge mistake when I told my mom and gave her the letter of acceptance. That letter said that it told her when it starts, what time it starts, and where it is. I could have told her nothing and just went on living life. Now that I think about it, on all the mistakes and all the bad decisions I have ever made, I think that mistake was the best one I have ever did. Because when the date of having me to go to Genesys came closer, she didn't ask me if I was going to go. She asked, what was I going to wear? I went the first day, looking like a bum. I haven't shaved for more than 2 weeks, wore shorts and a t-shirt, not very professional. That day, the Genesys coordinators told us what to wear, all professional and stuff. So the second day, I cleaned myself up and I bought some new clothes. And we began classes. Now, I hated summer school. I hate waking up 6 in the morning on a summer morning and getting ready to go to school. That's not what I like to do in my summers. I only went to summer school once, and if you ask me about that, I don't know anything about it because I was rarely there. If I was sleeping or not paying attention. And Genesys Works was summer school to me. I hated it. I told my brother every day of every morning that I had to go to Genesys Works, that I was going to quit, that I wasn't going to show up tomorrow, that I'm just going to stop doing everything and never show up. But I never did. I think why I never did was because I realized that Genesys Works was giving me a second chance to do something great and an opportunity to achieve something great. While in the program, Genesys Works started to change me. I no longer was with my old friends. I made new, better ones. I didn't want to be up late at night because I had to go to Genesys the next morning. And Genesys gave me homework, and I actually did it. I stayed away from my gang friends so I wouldn't get in trouble and not be able to go to Genesys Works the next day. And every day, I started to see them less and less. Genesys Works was the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I will never forget the first day I went. I didn't know it at the time, but it was the start of a new life for me. Not only did I enjoy the time being in Genesys Works, but I did things I never would have tried. And those new things gave me another reason to like Genesys Works, because I had a lot of fun doing them. I'll always cherish those moments, and I'll never forget them. Now I can look forward to my future. I am now a freshman student at Hamline University to plan to graduate with a bachelor's degree. And now I can even look further into the, Thank you. And now I can even look further with the opportunity that Genesys Works has given me. So I'm here today as living proof on how programs like Genesys Works can make a difference in someone's life. For making this possible for me and for the other Genesys Works students here today, I sincerely thank you.